All right, my dears, it is our Saturday Yoga Church from Whidbey Island. And our playlist today, if you follow me along on Spotify, is Element Flow. And I'll tell you when to push play for that. So I know we're probably all reeling from the Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade and how absolutely devastating that is for any civil rights whatsoever, not just reproductive rights, but all civil rights are really being under attack and threatened at this time. And it's very weird to feel ourselves go so backwards. So for me, I'm 52. I was born in 1970. I was raised in a very conservative Catholic household. And so that ideology was passed on to me. And I can remember at like age 9 going, no, that's not right. Like from a very young age, I was like, doubting and saying, I don't believe that, and pushing back. And so I spent so much of my teenage years and my 20s rebelling and pushing back and really finding a voice as a woman and my right to do what I want with my own body, my right to love who I want, my right to express how I want. I mean, even something as minor or silly as tattoos were a big deal back then. And I got a lot of flack for it in my family of origin. So to now, be in my 30s and 40s and feel like we're getting somewhere, things are changing. And now to be in my 50s and feel like, oh shit, the very fundamental rights could be stripped away from us again. And my granddaughter could have less rights than I did to choose. I am a mother of 2 and I've had an abortion. And so that fundamental right to choose, to have that in any way taken away is really devastating. And I just feel this is going to affect women of color even more, and folks that don't have access to go out of state for an abortion, or, it's just the whole thing. And so I'm really trying to find my practices to give me that sensation of staying steady, staying true to the fight, doing what I can, because I can fall into hopelessness or despair or depression pretty readily. And it's only my practices that allow me to come back to center and to think, okay, don't give up. Allow yourself time to grieve and to rest and to feel all of the feels, because it's really emotional for most of us, and then come back to the small things that create big change, the small things that create big change. So I'd really love to hear, if you want to unmute yourself, what you're feeling at this time and what is helping you not give up hope. So anyone can start. You won't be seen on the screen, but your voice will be heard.
I'm a little bit surprised not to be feeling more. I feel like I kind of knew this coming for a few months, and I had a lot more big feelings. Mm-hmm. But that, I think it's going to be worse than last time, and I'm really scared about that. But also, my parents and all their friends were very active first time around, and so I knew it could be done, and I know people who can tell us how.
Yeah.
And that it's just about making sure as many people as possible can still get care, even as it gets harder and harder.
Yeah.
Because that's even more important. Getting the care is changing the law to make it easier is great, but that's going to take a long time.
Yeah. Absolutely. I appreciate you, Allegra. Thank you.
It's interesting because I've been I've been thinking a lot about my the genderqueer kids, and knowing that this is the first step towards them. And those babies don't have a community like the LGBTQ community, like the women's rights activism, and they are babies. And yesterday, I really just sat on the couch and just rested my soul because it was so tired. And today I'm leaning into how do I protect and fight for women's rights in Washington State. Thinking about how to get out the vote, how to go knock on doors in Eastern Washington and Southeastern Washington, like going into the places where it could get into danger. With the eye on how do I step in and protect these babies, because those kids, they are who they are, and they need to be who they are. And my fear is that our Patronus, quote Harry Potter, will start to fall because of this wave that's coming. And then how do we protect them after they've changed their names in their school system, after they've changed their names in their medical records? And I will fight for them to be able to do that. So that's where my drive is coming from, where I know the women movement and the people who get pregnant will have a voice fighting for them, but I'm now looking at what's coming next.
Yeah.
How do we protect those that don't have that voice? So that's what's driving me.
Thank you, Sarah. I really relate to that. Having a child who is gender non-binary and and not a child that could per se get pregnant, but a child that is very much up for all their rights being stripped away. So thank you.
I feel a lot of rage. I was feeling more rage than I expected yesterday. Like I just had a lot of other stuff going on and I wasn't paying attention, and I had seen some other stuff from the Supreme Court come down and I knew they weren't expecting it. So when I woke up and all this stuff was on social media, I immediately just felt like slapped. So I feel a lot of rage for like women in general, like the stuff, the implications for like farther down the road for like LGBTQ is kind of terrifying and overwhelming for me in a way that I can't describe it. Like I feel rage for women generally, but if I think about how it could go, it gets really bleak. And then, but I'm feeling some hope because I follow some like, I would say more middle of the road bloggers. They don't really talk about like, they don't generally tend to talk about politics very often, but on this, I've just been heartened because more women are talking about it, and they're talking about it in a way, they're using language that is about the broader like reproductive, like medical justice implications in a way that I think is really accessible. And they're talking about it where people who are not like me, conservative, are hearing about it. I mean, and this affects so many women. It's like 25% of women will have an abortion before they're 45, right? So it's not like it's unusual to them. So I have some hope seeing the conversations that are happening. So that's where I am.
Yeah. And I appreciate what you said. I almost wish I had more rage right now, because rage to me feels like action. And yesterday I just felt depleted. So yeah, thank you. Lexi, do you have anything to share?
Good morning. Sorry, I'm just getting started here. So I missed part of your prompt, but
we're talking about Roe v. Wade being overturned, and really just what we do to stay centered in a time where our rights are being stripped away, and just that feeling of either depression, or rage, or whatever it is that's coming up for us.
Yeah. For me, it is a lot of rage, but also the feeling of being, othered or made to be less than the other half of our population. You know, it's yeah. I do feel a lot of rage, and I'm not sure what exactly to do with it. However, one of the first things that came to mind was coming to this class this morning.
I was so grateful.
Just to be around like-minded people and hear from you and from other like-minded people, and just, you know, use our bodies to remind ourselves who we are.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well said, my dear. Thank you. Thank you so much. So since you're just joining us, if you are following me on Spotify, it is the element flow that we're going to do today, the element flow.
Okay,
All right, my dear. So we'll get started on our backs today, And if you do have blocks, one block would be useful today. And as we lie on our backs, we will bend the knees and place the feet flat and just windshield wiper the legs. And just kind of, you know, feel into what you're showing up with this morning. How does your body feel? Because emotions really get kind of stuck and lodged in the physical body. And I know that sounds incredibly woo-woo, but I swear it's the truth. We hold rage in our body. We hold sadness in our body. We hold trauma in our body. And so things like this can bring up past traumas that we're not even fully aware of. Like grief is stored in the body. And when we feel that deep sense of sadness or that deep sense of rage or outrage, it's probably more than just, not that this issue isn't enough, because it certainly is, but it probably triggers some other kind of response that's been held in the body for a real long time. So yoga is one of the ways that we can show up for our body, mind, and spirit. And then we're just going to do some pranayama here on our back. So we'll slow down the windshield wipers until you pause. Place our right hand on our belly and our left hand on our chest. And for the next few breaths, we're just going to isolate the breath into the belly. So as we inhale, the belly rises. Pause. Exhale, belly falls. Inhale, belly rises, and pause at the top of the inhale. And exhale, belly falls. So we'll do about 5 more that way. And then, my dears, let's inhale into the belly, pause, and then inhale more breath up into the chest, pause, and then one long exhale. So the inhale is in 2 parts. Inhale, belly pause, inhale, chest pause, exhale, one long part. And then one more part to this 3-part breath. Inhale into the belly, pause. Inhale into the chest, pause. Inhale up into the throat. And one long exhale. About 3 more that way. Try to relax your face, your jaw, your shoulders. And then, my dears, relax. Let the breath be natural. We're going to find our playlist. We'll push play in 3, 2, 1, push play. And we'll come to stand at the top of the mat. Stand at the top of the mat. And as we stand, feeling our feet at hip distance and taking the moment to really rock forward and back, side to side. And maybe even almost in a little circle, you might go toward the left. And then around to the right. Maybe eyes are closed. And just notice kind of where you hold your feet or your weight on your feet. Do you feel more left or right? Do you feel more front to back? Lift all of your toes, look down. And then lift your heels, toes down. And kind of rock back and forth, toes up, heels up. And begin to bend your knees. And notice how different it gets if you give a good bend to the knees. You start to really engage more muscle. Feel your thighs. And then stand in mountain pose. And just notice if you feel a little bit more aware of your thighs, your feet. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow again. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Palms to the heart. Twice more. Inhale, arms reach out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow again. Rise up. Palms to the heart. Last one this way. Arms reach up, inhale. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Fold again. Rise all the way up. Mountain pose. So here in this mountain pose, think about what it is you stand for. Why are you here alive in this body exactly as she, he, they are at this very strange and potent time in our history? Why are you alive right now? What do you have to offer? What do you stand for? Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Step your right toes to the back of the mat. Frame your left foot, dip your hips, lift your heart, breathe in. Straighten the leg, breathe out. Stay for an inhale. Bend the knee. Twice more. Inhale here. Exhale, straighten. Inhale here. Exhale, bend. Last one. Inhale here. Exhale, straighten. Inhale here. Bend the knee. Step back plank. You could have knees down or you could use blocks underneath your hands. Hips high, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Right leg goes high. Step that foot forward between your hands. Dip your hips, lift your heart, breathe in. Straighten the leg, breathe out. Stay for an inhale. Bend the knee. Inhale here. Straighten the leg. Inhale here. Bend the knee. One more time, breathe in. Straighten the leg. Stay for your inhale. Bend the knee, look forward, breathe in. Step forward and fold. Rise all the way up, inhale. And lean to the right. Inhale, center. Lean to the left. Inhale, center. Cactus the arms, shine the heart up, send the hips a little forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Left toes step back. This time, right arm reaches up. Deep breath in. Frame the foot, plank. Inhale here. Downward facing dog. Left leg up. Foot steps forward. Left arm lifts. Frame the foot, step forward and fold. Rise up. Mountain pose. Hands to your hips. Reach your right knee up. Draw your right heel towards your booty, left knee down. You're still standing upright. Draw the right knee up. Exhale, heel toward butt. Inhale, right knee up. Exhale, heel toward butt, airplane pose. Land back, crescent lunge. Interlace your fingers at the top. Draw your shoulders down. Inhale here. Switch to crescent lunge on the other side. Inhale here. Fly airplane, arms can be out to the sides. Inhale, left knee up. Left heel toward butt, hands can be at the hips. Left knee up. Heel toward butt. One more, left knee up. Heel toward butt, fly airplane. Land back, crescent lunge. And open and crescent lunge toward the front. Inhale here. Airplane. Right knee comes up. Right knee opens. Tree pose. 5 breaths. Great. Mountain pose. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Hands to the hips. Left knee lifts. Heel toward butt. Lift. Heel toward butt. Lift. Heel toward butt. Airplane. Crescent lunge. Inhale here. Open crescent lunge toward the back. Inhale here. Airplane. Lift that right knee up. Heel toward butt. Lift. Heel toward butt. Lift. Heel toward butt. Airplane. Crescent lunge. Inhale. Crescent lunge toward the front. Airplane. Lift that left knee up. Let the left knee open. Tree. Mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach up. Lean left. Inhale, arms reach up. Lean right. Inhale, arms reach up. Cactus the arms, shine the heart. Arms up, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Down dog your way. So you could go through plank, chaturanga, and up dog, and meet us in down dog, or just step back. Let's all shift forward plank. You might put your knees down. Come onto the right hand, right knee, or right hand, right foot. Reach the left arm up, inhale. Reach under your ribs. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, reach under. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, reach under. Lift your arm. Lift that left leg. Woo. Step the foot forward. Either low lunge with the right knee down or crescent lunge, your choice. Let's grab hold of the right wrist, bend the right elbow behind the head and begin to lean to the left. And then lean back into that arm as well. Tuck the tail, send the hips forward. Come back to center, arms reach up. Twist high, right arm in front where you might stay, or you might take that right hand to the outer left knee. Or you might bring your palms together, your right wrist, elbow, or anywhere in between could be outside that left knee. Back knee is up or down. All right, my dears, frame that front foot, plank, knees can be down. Onto the left side, side plank, left knee could be down or up. Right arm goes up. Right leg is stacked or down for now. Inhale here. Exhale, reach under the ribs. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach under. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach under. Reach the arm up and reach that right leg up. Deep breath in. Step that right foot forward, either low lunge with the left knee down or crescent lunge with the left knee up. Grab your left wrist, bend your left elbow, bring it behind your head, begin to lean to the right and lean back. Tuck your tail, send your hips forward, breathe. Inhale back to center. Twist high, left arm in front or left palm goes to the outer right knee or wrist or elbow outside that right leg. Back knee is up or down. When you're ready, my dears, frame that front foot plank. Knees can be up or down. Shift your weight forward, Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Now, my dears, look forward, walk or hop to your hands, halfway lift, fold forward, rise up, palms to the heart. Chair pose. Lift your right foot 1 inch, put it down. Left foot 1 inch, put it down. Right foot 2 inches, down. Left foot 2 inches, down. Right knee comes to your chest, left knee stays bent. Woo-wee, that's troublesome, huh? Good trouble. Fly it back, airplane. Land back, crescent lunge. Open and crescent lunge toward the back. Inhale here. Fly airplane. Bend the knees, chair. Left foot lifts 1 inch. Down. Right foot. Down. Left foot. Down. Right foot. Down. Keep the right knee bent. Left knee comes to the chest. Fly it back, airplane. Land crescent. Open and crescent facing forward. Big breath in. Fly airplane. And mountain pose. Inhale, arms up. Lean right. Inhale, arms up. Lean left. Arms up. Cactus, shine the heart. Arms up. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Plank or chaturanga. Push up, side plank left. Right leg lifts. Right foot steps forward, low lunge or crescent lunge. Cactus, the arms, shine the heart. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, lift. Exhale, cactus. Arms up. Plank or chaturanga push-up, side plank on the right. Right knee can be up or down. Left leg lifts. Left foot steps forward, either crescent lunge or low lunge, arms up. Cactus, shine the heart. Inhale, lift. Cactus. One more. Cactus. Arms up. Frame the foot, down dog or chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Meeting in down dog. Five breaths here. When you're ready, walk or hop to the top. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold. Chair pose. Right knee comes toward the chest, left knee stays bent. Airplane, half moon. Warrior two. Inhale, exalted. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, exalted. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, exalted. Exhale, side angle. And then frame that front foot. Straighten that front leg a little. Bow toward it. Breathe. See if you can keep the back heel down. Maybe it's a yes, maybe it's a no, and you have to pivot to the ball of the foot. A block might be under your right hand. Left arm lifts, revolved side angle. Frame that front foot, straighten the leg, 5 breaths. Feeling the challenge, and then feeling the rest, the pause, before the next action. How could that help us in the world? Plank. Onto the right side, side plank. Left leg lifts. Left foot steps forward, crescent lunge or low lunge. Arms reach up. Twist high, right arm in front. Or twist low. Elbow or wrist or forearm outside the left knee. Remember, the right knee can be down or up. Come back to center on your next inhale. Meet in down dog. So that could be plank, chaturanga, cobra or up dog. Back to down dog. See what works. 5 breaths. Walk or hop to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Keep the right knee bent, lift the left knee up. Fly it back through airplane. and half moon. Warrior two. Inhale, exalted. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, exalted. Exhale, side angle. One more. And then frame that front foot. You might have to position the back foot a little more out to the left. Straighten the front leg, bow. This pose is challenging, revolved side angle. So bending that right knee, a block might be under the left hand. Reach the right arm up. Frame the foot. Step back plank. Side plank on the left. Right leg lifts. Right foot steps forward, low lunge or crescent lunge. Twist, left arm in front, or left wrist or elbow outside the right knee. Frame the front foot. Down dog your way, which could include Chaturanga, Cobra or up dog. And then actually down dog or child's pose, or sit back on your heels. And just notice the energy you're moving. So Sarah said something that I love to think of with yoga. Harry Potter and the Patronus charm. And how Harry summons this spell, this charm of protection, is tapping into his emotions. So through a memory that has power, it doesn't have to be a good memory, but it's one that has power. So those experiences in our life, both positive and negative, leave that energetic trace. And we can summon on that feeling to protect ourselves so that we can keep going, fighting the good fight against the Voldemorts of the Supreme Court. Meaning in down dog. Lift your right leg up, bend your knee and open your hip. You can stay exactly here, or you could flip your dog. Coming back, inhale. Step that foot forward, warrior two. Let's grab a block into our right hand. We're going to hold the block out in front, just like this. We're going to come to half moon with that block being held out like that. And then come back. Then place the block on the highest setting off your mat to the right. Hold on to the block, lift that left leg open, half moon from the ground up. Five more breaths. And then my dears, bend that front knee, let your back leg land down. Warrior two. Inhale, exalted. Side angle, half bind, reaching behind your back, or some of you full bind. If you have the half bind, we can all step our left foot up. Your right hand would grab your thigh, like your hamstring, and we'll come up, bird of paradise. You can stay with your leg bent or straighten, half or full bound. Place that right foot down, keep the bind. Lift that left leg up, half moon with the bind. Woo, warrior two. That's a tricky one. All right, dears, let's straighten that right leg, come to triangle. Five more breaths. All right, my dears, frame that front foot plank. Maybe chaturanga, cobra or up dog, maiden down dog. Left leg goes high. Bend the knee and open the hip. You might stay or flip your dog. Come back, inhale. Step forward. Warrior two. Let's grab the block in our left hand. Half moon with the block extended out. So the right foot might not go up very high, that's okay. Great, and then land back. Place the block off the mat to the left on the highest setting. From the ground up, half moon. And warrior two. Inhale, exalted. Side angle. Half bind. Maybe full bind. With the half bind, you might step that right foot up. Reach under your left hamstring. Come up, bird. Left leg can stay bent or straighten. Left foot goes down. Bound half moon. Whew, warrior two. Straighten the left leg, triangle pose. Frame that front foot, bow for a moment. And then plank, maybe chaturanga, cobra or up dog. Down dog, sit back on your heels or child's pose, 10 breaths. Taking those moments of pause. Noticing our breath. Noticing where our energy is. So if you've been raging lately, perhaps this can feel settling. If you've been depressed, sad, grieving lately, maybe this feels invigorating. Trying to find the balance there. Coming back to what we stand for. We'll all meet in down dog. And then walk our hands back to our feet. Grab opposite elbows. Hang. Yeah, and then, my dear, slowly rise up at the back of the mat. We'll have our hands to our hips again. Right knee lifts. You might stay with the knee in your hand, or you could grab hold of your big toe and straighten the leg out front. Right leg opens to the right. Right leg comes back to center. Left hand grabs the outer knee or the outer foot, and you twist. Back to center, arms up, knee up. Step the foot halfway up the mat. Kick your left heel toward the butt. Maybe you reach back for the heel, dancer pose, or maybe both arms are extended back. Come up, left knee up. Step it forward, right arm underneath for a hug or eagle arms. Right leg up and over. Eagle pose. Right leg flies back and lands. Humble warrior with eagle arms or hug. Release your hands, frame the foot. Chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Grab opposite elbows or interlace the fingers behind your back. And rise up at the back of the mat. Left knee into your left hand, or you could grab the big toe and straighten the leg. Left leg out to the left. Left leg back to center. Right hand grabs the outer knee or foot or leg, and you twist. Arms up, knee up. Step that foot halfway up, dancer on the right. You can grab your foot or you don't have to. Arms up, right knee up. Step forward, left arm under hug or eagle arms. Left leg up and over, eagle pose. Left leg flies back, steps back. Humble warrior with eagle arms or a hug. Frame the foot, plank. Maybe chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Down dog, child's pose, or sit back on your heels. All right, my dears, we're gonna all shift forward into plank and lower onto our bellies. All the way down. Sphinx pose. So remember, Sphinx, different than Cobra. The elbows are under the shoulders. Push into the wrists as much as the elbows. Draw the belly in. And then think about drawing your elbows towards your waist. Right ear to right shoulder. Chin to chest. Left ear to left shoulder. Chin to chest. And then push into the length of the form, especially the wrist. Draw the elbows toward the waist. Draw the belly in. Feel your shoulder blades. Breathe. Come onto your left side, bend your right knee, reach back for your right foot or ankle, and draw the heel in toward the booty, tuck your tail, draw the knee toward the earth. Keep holding the foot, come back on your belly, and Sphinx on the left arm. Draw that heel in toward the booty, bow your head, tuck your tail. Then kick the foot into the hand and look forward. Half bow. Some of you, your knee might come off the floor. That's not my truth. And then release that side back to Sphinx. Pushing into the whole length of the forearm, in particular the wrist, drawing the heart forward, the elbows toward the waist, draw the belly in. Left ear to left shoulder. Chin to chest. Right ear to right shoulder. Chin to chest. Level the head. Push, pull, breathe. And then come onto your right side. Bend your left knee. Grab hold of the foot or the ankle. Tuck the tail and draw that left knee toward the earth. Notice what's happening, not just to your front thigh, right, the quad, but also to that left shoulder. Come back to center, still hold on to that foot. Sphinx on the right arm. Draw the heel in, tuck the tail, bow the head. Then kick the foot into the hand and come up, half bow. Release that side. Back to Sphinx. So often in yoga, we are sensation seekers and we think of big, huge back bends like Urdhva Dhanurasana or upward facing bow, sometimes called wheel. But sometimes when we hold more available back bends like Sphinx, longer, it can actually be more potent in the long run. So my thinking here is the small actions that we can take toward justice, the ones that might not seem like big things, but their daily acts could be more potent and powerful than if we go march one time. You know what I mean? So instead of the big sensation seeking, not that marching isn't great, it is. But how can we stay with something daily that seems a little bit smaller perhaps, but is more powerful and potent and sustainable in the long run? Now, you can bend your knees and reach back for both of your feet, bow pose, right? Kick the feet into the hands, or you could walk your knees wide, bring the soles of your feet together, and then lift your elbows. So whatever back bend you choose to take, we're going to try to hold about 10 breaths. Still drawing the belly in, which is odd when you're on it. How could this action be sustainable? Then, my dears, come down, make a pillow for your face. Gently windshield wiper the legs. And then place your hands underneath you. Push yourselves to hands and knees and back to child's pose. And my friends, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg high, bend the knee and open the hip. You might stay, or you could take your left knee across the body to the right, straighten the leg, thread it through, and reach your right arm up. A variation of side plank. Wherever you are, it's perfect. Breathe. And then we'll come back and step that left foot to the outside of the left hand and bring the right knee to the ground. So we're going to hard flex that left foot and shift to the pinky toe edge side of the foot. And immediately you probably feel your left hip. Shift your weight back, whoo, and forward. Back and forward. All the while, we're keeping that leg moving out to the left. Notice in your body where you feel the most stretch on the outer left hip that feels sustainable. And then we'll see if maybe we can come onto forearms, maybe onto a block. So I was so trained to always have my hips come forward in this pose that it was a huge revelation when my hips came back that I felt even more of a stretch. So play with it, see what's true for your body. We'll shift our weight a little bit left and right. And then if you're like me and you have your hips kind of back, come up onto your palms, maybe even blocks, and send the hips forward so that right leg mostly straightens. You might feel the front of that right hip as well as the outer left. Now you could come onto forearms here or blocks. You could keep the right knee down, or you could tuck the toe under and lift the right knee up. See what feels best for your body today. Remember, best isn't necessarily harder. Best isn't necessarily easier. And then we're going to see if we can come down kind of onto that right side. The left leg is still here, but I've got my right hip down. I'm going to bend that right knee and see if I can reach it with my left hand and draw that heel in. And then maybe kick the foot into the hand and open through the heart. And then we'll release that foot. And shift ourselves back to hands and knees. And down dog. And then step that right foot to the outside of the right hand. And allow that right knee to open to the right, hard flex that right foot. And shift your weight back and forward while you have a good bend in that left knee. So my left knee is pretty much right under my hip. And as you shift back and forward and right and left, maybe you can come onto your forearms or blocks and find a spot to hang out for a while. Hips are one of the places where we store things like rage and grief. Just holding space for yourself and whatever you're feeling here. Using the tool of our breath to kind of settle our nervous system. Then, my dears, coming up maybe onto your palms or blocks and sending your hips way forward till that left leg pretty much straightens. And maybe you can come onto your forearms here. Still letting that right knee open. You can keep the left knee down or lift it. And then we're going to shift onto that left hip and side. Bend the left knee. Reach back there with your right hand for the left foot. Draw the heel in. Or kick the foot into the hand and open through the heart. And my dears, release. And make our way back to hands and knees. Now you can come through down dog, or you can simply bring your left knee to your left wrist and begin to walk yourself back into pigeon. So tucking the right toes under and walking the right leg back. Here's where blocks or pillows are handy as well. And we kind of walk back enough where we feel our left hip coming toward the earth. And then bow our heads. An alternative to pigeon is double pigeon, or thread the needle on your back. Or you can also bend this right knee and kind of come to the inner thigh and come up in pigeon this way, which is a lot less strain on joints. And then you can kind of come down this way and hopefully you feel the right hip and neither knee. So just being with what works for your body. Then, my dears, we'll switch to pigeon on the other side. So some of us might just swing that right leg around, start that way, inching the left knee back, or you could come back through down dog, whatever works. And remember, you can also bend that left knee and kind of shift off onto the right hip. That makes it a little bit more doable for some bodies. Yeah. Then, my dears, the next place we're going to go to is a supported fish on our back. So what that means is you have a block or something block-like, could be a book, underneath your shoulder blades. So it can be on the broad or horizontal setting, or it can be on the vertical setting. Probably the low setting is best for most of us. And then we'll come down and allow that block to support the mid back, the shoulder blades, and then a pillow under the head is extra nice. And we'll let our knees come toward each other. And let our arms just go out to the sides. And at some point, we might move our arms and our legs, but for now, let's just try to settle into feeling like, what does support feel like? I heard Lexi say the word othered, and that speaks to me greatly. So there are many ways we've been othered in this society. We are othered for our racial identity, our sexual orientation, our gender identity, our bodies, the shape and size of our bodies, the ability of our bodies, and also neurodivergence. We've been othered for our religion, for our culture. And how can we imagine bringing all of those parts of ourselves that have been marginalized right back to center, right back home? Like, what if this support from this block and your ability to let go and let be and rest a little or trust that the block is holding you, help you to bring some of the parts of yourself that have been othered back to that feeling of belonging, that innate sense of belonging, that fundamental right of belonging in the bodies and identities that we're in. We might straighten our legs if that feels good to do so. Arms could come more down by the sides, palms turned up if that feels good to do so. See what works. We'll just focus on our breath. Remember that breathing we did at the beginning, that 3-part breath. We're going to do the same thing, but opposite. So inhale in one long inhale, and then exhale 1/3 of the breath. Pause, 2/3 of the breath, pause, all of the breath. So inhale in one long part and exhale in 3 parts. And then, my dears, just let the breath be natural and effortless. And if it's possible, we're going to stay here for a while. If it's really uncomfortable, you can move. The next pose that we're going to be doing is either a block under the sacrum, legs up to the sky, or legs up the wall. But noticing the energy of this pose, this supported fish. The block has our back. Who has your back in your life? What friends, lovers, family have your back? What communities are you a part of that has your back? And with that, who do you support? Whose back do you got? Hear sound, the sounds maybe of the birds outside of the room. dear, you couldn't hear me. Bummer.
Although I would love to get a copy of it so we could listen to what you said, because it looked like you were saying something important.
I will definitely.
Yes.
All right, my dears, we'll return to, let's see.
I almost fell asleep in fish pose.
Oh, good. Comes to our heart. Did the sound just did the sound just quit when I was reading the poem?
I lost it in fish pose. I actually got up right when and noticed that you were switching to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Dear, oh dear. In the spirit of peace, we say Shanti, Shalom, Salam, Amani, Maluhia, Irini, Shiakan, Jam, Pache, Pas. In the spirit of our collective freedom and ultimately liberation, we say Ashe, Amin, Amen, blessed be, Kapu Aloha, in Lakech, Satnam, Namaste, Mitakuyasin, Black Lives Matter.
Thank you for